Solo travel is often hailed as one of the most liberating experiences one can have. The freedom to explore, discover, and immerse oneself in new cultures without the constraints or compromises that come with traveling in a group is unparalleled. When you travel solo, it's just you and your desires, and that, my friend, is true freedom. While there are countless destinations around the world that are perfect for solo travel, Japan stands out as one of the best, if not best, country I've ever traveled to alone. Sure, there are other popular solo travel spots like Southeast Asia, where budget backpackers often engage in what's known as begpacking, a practice where travelers with little to no money beg for funds from locals in developing countries to sustain their trips. While this might appeal to some, it's not exactly the most ethical or classy way to travel. Even my home country, Norway, is a popular destination for solo travelers. But let's be honest, it's so expensive that you might end up begpacking there too if you're not careful. Despite the allure of these destinations, none of them can quite compare to Japan when it comes to solo travel. Let me explain why. One of the most significant advantages of traveling solo in Japan is the country's exceptional safety. Now, when I say Japan is safe, I mean it's safe. Of course, no place is entirely free of risk, and it's essential to remain vigilant no matter where you are. However, Japan's low crime rate makes it an ideal destination for solo travelers, especially those who might be nervous about exploring a foreign country alone. That said, it's easy to let your guard down in Japan because of its reputation for safety. You might find yourself thinking, nothing bad can happen here. And while that's mostly true, it's still important to stay aware of your surroundings. Low crime doesn't mean no crime. There are still sketchy areas, particularly in places like Kabukicho in Tokyo or south of Namba in Osaka, where scams and touts are more prevalent. These individuals might try to lure you into bars or clubs only to drug you, rob you, or present you with an outrageously inflated bill. For example, they might offer an all-you-can-drink deal for 1,000 yen, about $7 for an hour, only to charge you 50,000 yen, $350 at the end. The golden rule in Japan is simple: avoid bars, clubs, or pubs that employ touts to bring in customers. Whether it's a burly Nigerian man or a cute Japanese girl in a maid outfit, don't be swayed by their pitches. Nothing good ever comes from following them. For women, the risks are slightly different. While Japan is generally safe, there's always the possibility of being groped in crowded areas like packed train cars or busy streets. If you're concerned, try to avoid being in the middle of large crowds. As a big, bearded, bald guy, I can't speak from personal experience, so I'd love to hear from women who've solo traveled in Japan. Share your experiences in the comments. One of the biggest misconceptions about Japan is that it's prohibitively expensive. While it's true that Japan can be pricey, it's not nearly as costly as people make it out to be, especially if you're traveling solo. In fact, Japan is more affordable now than it has been in years, thanks to the weak yen. If you're coming from a country with a stronger currency like the US or Europe, you'll find that your money goes a lot further in Japan than it used to. Traveling alone also allows you to take advantage of budget-friendly options for meals and accommodations. For breakfast and lunch, you can grab a quick bite at places like Sukiya, Matsuya, or Yoshinoya, where you can get a filling meal for just a few dollars. No one's going to judge you for not splurging on fancy restaurants every day. Want to grab a burger from Shake Shack or M-Burger? Go for it. Feel like having a drink outside a convenience store? That's perfectly acceptable too. It's your trip after all, not Keith's. Accommodation is another area where solo travelers can save money. You don't need a large hotel room when you're traveling alone. A small, cozy room or even a hostel bed will do just fine. Now, I'm in my 30s, so the idea of staying in a hostel with a bunch of rowdy 20-somethings blasting 90s techno music all night sounds like my personal version of hell. But if you're younger or more social, hostels can be a great way to meet other travelers and add a social element to your trip. Feeling lonely? Spend a night at a hostel and party with some Armenians. Sounds fun, right? For the truly adventurous, you can even save money by sleeping in a private room at a manga cafe or a PC room. Just remember to bring hand sanitizer, as these spaces are often used by people who, let's just say, enjoy their alone time a little too much. What makes Japan truly unique for solo travelers is how well the country caters to individuals. In many restaurants and izakayas, you'll find single-person seating at the counter. There's even a popular yakiniku spot where you can grill your own meat solo, something that's typically a group activity. No one will give you a side eye for dining alone, whether you're at a restaurant, a museum, or even Universal Studios Japan. By the way, I once spent New Year's Eve alone at Universal Studios Japan. If you want to hear that story, hit the like button and subscribe. In Japan, there's no stigma attached to doing things alone. You can go to the cinema, visit a museum, or explore a theme park by yourself without feeling out of place. This makes Japan the perfect destination for solo travelers who want to enjoy their own company without feeling judged. One of the things I love most about Japan is how good the country is at leaving you alone if that's what you want. There's a famous, or maybe infamous, story about a man who died on a train and wasn't discovered until the train had traveled back and forth for 12 hours, covering over 650 kilometers. Everyone just assumed he was asleep and didn't want to disturb him. While this might sound extreme, it highlights how much the Japanese value personal space and privacy. If you're someone who enjoys being in your own little world, Japan is the perfect place for you. You can walk around, explore, and enjoy your surroundings without anyone intruding on your bubble. Want to minimize human interaction? No problem. Many services in Japan are automated, from ticket vending machines at train stations to ordering systems at restaurants. You can pay for your meal, sit down, and have your food delivered to your table without saying a word. In fact, I'm pretty sure you could spend an entire solo trip in Japan without talking to anyone if you really wanted to. It's fantastic. Of course, not everyone wants to be a hermit while traveling. If you're looking to meet people and be social, Japan has plenty of opportunities for that too. Many bars and pubs, especially those that aren't izakayas, are frequented by other travelers. If you're looking to mingle, head to the Hub, a popular chain of British-style pubs where you'll find a mix of drunk foreigners and thirsty Japanese locals. There are also plenty of classes, courses, and group tours you can join if you want to meet people. Whether it's a cooking class, a tea ceremony, or a guided tour of a historic site, these activities are a great way to socialize while exploring Japan. It's not really my thing, but if you're into it, the options are there. Japan is a country that truly caters to solo travelers. It's safe, affordable, and offers a unique blend of solitude and social opportunities. Whether you want to explore on your own or meet new people, Japan has something for everyone. It's a place where you can be as social or as antisocial as you want and no one will bat an eye. If you've never traveled solo before, I highly recommend giving Japan a try. I'm confident you won't be disappointed. And if you are, well, feel free to fight me in the comments. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out my Patreon and membership options if you want to support the channel. A huge shout out to my current patrons and members. You guys are awesome. See you in the next video.